Welcome to my daily review. Today is Wednesday, November 5. You're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which got back some of yesterday's losses. It advanced 151 points or 0.85%, closed at 23,499, call it 23.5. It could not take out the high from yesterday, which was 23,644. Today was 636. But the low was a 333 yesterday. Today was a 286. So I want to take a look at this 5 minute chart here because yesterday we saw a lot of selling into the close, and I think there was some panic selling here as the market kind of whooshed into the close yesterday. I think a lot of people were kind of shaken out because, they don't want to hold overnight because bad news could happen. There's elections or whatever. So they kind of scared some folks out of their shares. And what happens the next day? Well, it rallies up. And then today, weakness into the close, which you don't want to see. The close is important to me. It's more important than the open. And I did not like seeing that weakness in the close, but I'm gonna get to some of that stuff later on with some specific stocks and specific names here. You can see it rallied up to the five and just couldn't power through it today. So maybe tomorrow, never give up. But you want to see it trading back above that five. It's 1.2% above the 21, which is great. 3.9% above the 50, which is great. But I want to see some momentum to the upside here. There was a 3% correction from peak of 24,019 to the trough of 23,286 today. So, 3% correction, not the end of the world, and it bounced back. All right. I just want to get to some stocks today. I'm going to go earnings, some themes, and then tonight's earnings. Just a lot of stuff. And I think we're seeing a rotation during these earnings results. And there's some areas of strength and some areas of weakness. I just want to get right to some of the names that reported that maybe we can look forward to, you know, um, groups or specific stocks trading higher. This is Lemonade, heavily shorted stock up 34% today. That's a nice, what you would call the power earnings gap here. That's going to be on our weekend video. We've got a lot of them this weekend. I would call that, a double bottom base, but the pattern rec's not picking it up. Doesn't matter. A base is a base, and a breakout is a breakout. Just like a Johnson Controls today, not quite 9%, but decent volume, nice move. I mean, if you're long, you're very happy camper today. So nice move there. I guess I'll do McDonald's. I'm not really thrilled about McDonald's, but they did have an impressive quarter, considering the consumer and everything. But it was the CEO definitely said that the lower socioeconomic group was not participating now. So they're going to have to do something to try to get that customer back. AMD reported very strong quarter. You can see the sales growth for me for AMD is what's 24, 36, 32. 36. They continue that. You can see where their sales are going to be going here. They had a little head fake, some profit taking in the morning. In my morning video, I was saying it's an opportunity. Pre-market, it was like 236. It closed at 256, and I still think it's going higher. This is what I would call a bullish engulfing, or depending upon your terminology, an outside day where the high and the low eclipses the high and the low of the prior day, kind of like opposite of an inside day. It's outside today. So I think AMD is going higher, much higher, like a 300 type higher. It closed today a tick above its five. So that's what I want to see. I want to see these strong stocks trading and closing above their five EMA. Here's ALAB, really strong report. Kind of some, I don't know. I don't know, maybe the options market, something's holding this back. I think it's going to go higher. 200 would be my guess. Something held it back today. We've seen some really strange earnings moves, and I think it's going to bounce here off the 21 and through the 50 here and through 200. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not this week, but pretty soon here for STRL Labs. That was a fantastic report. I mean, triple digit sales and earnings growth as we get lower interest rates and multiples expand. These types of growth stocks are the ones, the strong fundamentals, they get rewarded. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, DigitalOcean finally busted through, man. 18% move. You can see this little bull wedge type of pattern here at the end of its its end of its base, right before earnings, a lot of, not a lot, but some sellers and some caution. There it is here. And now I'm making a high above the recent high there. So good for the longs at DigitalOcean. That one looks good. We had a bunch of earnings gaps besides Lemonade today. This is LITE, Lumentum Holdings. This one is just, yeah, been it's been a rocket ship. I was visiting there in July, and I had to, I don't know, I shouldn't say anything. It's just that going to be on my video this weekend for sure. I like the little pullback ahead of the just 24% move. Thank you very much. That'll help your portfolio a great deal. This is advanced energy, semiconductor, another little wedge pattern here down to the 21, found support and bounced. Saw a lot of stocks doing that, finding support yesterday, and that's what you use for information on your stock is where is it finding support. And this one busted 15% higher today. And then Teva, this is it's a biotech kind of, yeah, generic drug. They kind of prey on other companies' patents. 20% move higher today. So good for Teva. QLYS, this is a security software, in the CrowdStrike, Zscaler, Palo Alto Networks industry group. This one broke above a downtrend line here. I'm going to get to the weekly in a minute because it's a way longer base, but it broke above this downtrend line. 20% move, still consolidating within this, stage one base. As you can see this on this long, double bottom and then consolidation. It's been a long time, and maybe it's about ready to break out of this stage four decline and out of this stage one base and into a stage two ascending pattern for QLYS. So there's, security software. We've seen a lot of leadership changes in this group. And yeah, it's in with a very strong group of other stocks that I just mentioned. VCYT, this is a medical services stock. Man, nice move here, 28%. Just a lot of them here that I wrote down on my list today, man. So don't want to ignore these. Write these tickers down and follow them and wait for those moving averages to catch up. This is Establishment Lab Holdings, silicone filled breast implants. It's a booby implant company. What can I say? People, I don't know, they like their boobs, I guess. So anyway, uh, consolidation pattern here broke out. I mean, this thing's up 26%. So business is booming for Establishment Labs. So that's another, one on my list. I've got a ton of them this week. It's going to be very hard to just pick out 10, which I couldn't last week, but I'm going to do my best. All right. I'm going to move on from earnings to some of the areas of stocks that I like. Areas of strength. SanDisk, obviously an area of strength. This one has just been on a heater. They report earnings tomorrow, so be careful here. If you own that one, you're gonna have to make, even if you bought it here at $40 and it's here at 200, you don't want to see it. You don't want to lose money, so you still have to practice risk management. This is the number one group, and there's a reason for it. I'm just gonna go through these quickly. Nothing needs to be said. They're just surfing their five. They're making new highs. Nothing to be said here. I can point out though that they are pulling back to the five and finding support. So yesterday when we had that, sell off, when the Nasdaq was down 400 something points or more than 2%, these things, just pulled back to their moving averages and, found support and bounced sharply today. This is Seagate, another one. If I zoom in here, yesterday it undercut the five. What did it do today? Yeah, it rallied up 10%. They have earnings behind them. And, I still will, say that 264.83, or call it just 265. If it pulls back there, that's your Darvis box. You want to buy something, if it comes back in the box, you can buy it. And then when it's out of the box, what's in the box? Not Seagate. But yeah, that's just the way you have to play them now. These stronger stocks are not going to set up a nice basis, and you have to be really quick. You get a 1 day pullback into a moving average. You got to pull the trigger, and then it's gone again. So you buy the dips and sell the rips for sure with these strong names. Another group just absolutely just steaming away here. This is the day two for Sanmina. I'm really surprised at the strength of this stock. This is kind of out of character, but since Jerry's been back, this thing has been cooking. And they bought that ZT business from AMD, which is data center play. Now they're kind of AMD partners, and this kind of went up with their report on Tuesday and with the AMD report today. Another day two move of 9%, man. Just Sanmina is cooking. So is Celestica. This one made a new high today. It came and it made this little flag pattern. I've been mentioning this not for long because it hasn't flagged for long, but maybe I'll go to the weekly. It's been very short here as it ramped up and just for a week kind of sideways action. And that's all you're going to get with these things, man, in this strong market. What did it do on Tuesday when the market pulled back? It just came back to its five. If you didn't pull the trigger, then you missed it. Now it's a little extended. So that's the way it goes in these strong uptrends. Yeah, with these strong stocks, you're going to make them very uncomfortable to buy because you're saying, oh man, they're extended and all they're doing is pulling back to the five. That's it. You just got to play the market that we have and not the one that you want. This is a Fabra Net. This one had an inside day today, found support at the five yesterday, bounced for a day where the Nasdaq was down, that one was showing relative strength. TTMI, this is another one. Man, these things just keep making new highs. Once again, on the weekdays, it's giving you information here. I'm finding support at my green line, the five here, and if you want to pull the trigger, you can. That's like the only way to get into these things. These are super strong names. All right. Another group that I like a lot are the drug stocks. I think they have a potential to be one of the leading groups in 2026. They're showing strength here. This is MDGL. They have a weight loss, what do you call it? A compound, right? Look at how long this thing went sideways. Broke out of a base, went sideways. 3 weeks tight and just undercut the 50. See that on the daily here. Yeah, undercut just for a little bit and rallied with, I believe it was earnings yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday and followed through today. MDGL, another one in this group, NBIX moved. Earnings breakout, not enough to qualify for a power earnings gap, but very nice move for that one. And okay, I'm gonna get off the drug names. VKTX. Viking, this is one that's kind of forming its little handle here. Is it? Yeah, pattern rec is picking that up. Yeah, cup with handle pattern there. 3680 would be your buy point. I might put that one on my ready list. It's above the moving average. The short-term moving average is rallied above the longer term. You can see the 50 now is rallied above the 200s. That looks pretty good to me. And obviously, Novo reported in the morning and had a decent day. It started off kind of going south. There you go, the sell off, and then some buyers came in, maybe some bargain hunters for Novo. All right, I'm going to move on because the number one group for me, if the data centers and Jensen's GPUs, they don't mean anything unless they have power. And for me, this is the number one power play. It used to be GEV, but it's running out of gas. It's lost its energy. And BE now, after that report last week, investors want in on this one. It's got huge growth. Had a 750 million, I believe, secondary offering right after this gap higher, and all it did was just have an inside day. Pulled back to the five, found support and bounced. Pulled back to the five on Tuesday and bounced. And that five, as long as that five's going higher and the stock stays above the five, you don't have to hold it very long to be in the chips, brother. And I like being in the chips. I just want to point out, these are some stocks that I own and I like that are just, showing what I want to see is that support on these down days when the Nasdaq's down. I don't really care if it goes down. Well, I care, of course, but I want to see, I want to know where this stock is finding support. Is it crashing through the five? Is it crashing through the 10? Is it finding support at the 21? Well, this one's obviously finding support at the five. Vertiv, different story. This one pulled back to the 21. 4 days of selling, pull back to the 21, bounced nicely today. So this is another stock that I like. I don't own it at the time, but I would like to. INSM, I had to bite the bullet. This thing pulled back. I'm sorry. I missed out on this long run, and now here I am chasing it. And I tell everybody, don't chase, don't chase. But it pulled back to the five, and I think that's all you're going to get. This is the earnings gap here, this move. And then it took 3 days off, pulled back to the five. That's why I say wait, wait for those moving averages to catch up. INSM, 16% move on Thursday, Friday sold off, made a new high and reversed lower. Pulled back to the five on Monday. Found support, bounced a little bit, closed 76% of the daily range. Yesterday, with the Nasdaq down, it didn't crater. It was down 1.8%, with the Nasdaq down 2%. Found support at the five, and today bounced. So I like that action. So I did pull the trigger on INSMED because I don't know, it's kind of like one of those regret trades, right? Like a mental health trade. Like, okay, I'll just buy a little bit just so I can say I own it. Because I missed the trade from 120 to 180. I got to buy it at 186. All right. Anyway, enough of my nonsense. All right. A couple other names that I own and that I like and that was looking for support here. This is IREN, Iris Energy. It pulled back to the five yesterday and found support. And that's what you want to see. Recently, it had that reversal candle sold off, like Oklo, and it sold off hard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days from 74 to 48. Now rallied back through the moving averages, and the five appears to be a source of support. Now they're going to report earnings tomorrow, so I have a little decision to make. CIFR, Cipher Mining, reported on Monday, and you can see the five is now, kind of like IREN, that where it undercut the 21 and rallied back up, but now the five is that's where it's finding support. Like I say, it was up what 10% today. As long as it stays above the five and that five is rising, you don't have to hold it long to be in the chips. And I like being in the chips. All right, another group. I kind of went off sideways there on a tangent, but I'm going to quickly go through the solar names. Next tracker. These things are showing relative strength here. Yeah, you can see this one, Canadian Solar, just heading due north, right? First Solar, same thing. Another one in this group. Yeah, don't ignore these. This is a real strong group now, top five group. Solar Edge undercut the 50, rallied back through it today, a 28% move. Yeah, for Solar Edge. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. At mcstockcharts.com, we never give up. Have some news after hours. Some good, the bad, and the ugly. Robinhood. I thought the report was good. Sell off kind of like AMD last night, where a good report is met with some profit taking. I would be a buyer of this this weakness here tomorrow morning if it comes in a little bit more. Vlad's going to hit the PR circuit and he's going to promote his stock, but they have, oh gosh, I forgot the amount. They have a number of businesses that are generating more than $100 million a year. Yeah. And yeah, so anyway, I think this quarter is going to be I think it's going to be rewarded. It pulled back to the 50 recently, a little bit of caution ahead of the print, maybe a little bit of profit taking, but I think that quarter is going to be rewarded. We'll see. We'll have to see. This is Apple 11 reported tonight. This gangbuster report. These guys kicking butt, up 6% after hours, probably going to go higher. Finding support at the 50 here. Very strong name. Bros, I just got off the conference call listening to that. And I would think with their quarter, it would go up, but we'll see. Yeah, strong sales growth. Same store sales, they raised same store sales guidance to about I don't know, 5% from 4%. They raised guidance. They did say California, the taxation in California is hitting them because of, the labor law there. But I don't know how many stores they have in California. They're expanding. I would think that quarter would be rewarded with some upgrades. Qualcomm reported. I didn't really get the gist of Qualcomm. Down after hours. ARM reported. Another semiconductor name, okay, up a little bit after hours. That means pull back to its 50. And then ELF, reported CEO was just he's been talking about tariffs are going to hurt his company, and so that when they manufacture in China, so when the news is good, about China tariffs, it goes up. When the news is bad, it goes down. Their report, they were short on revenues though, so not good going into the Christmas quarter for ELF. And I just wanted to point out today's close. This is when you think somebody might know something into the print. Something was leaked here, as it just went from what 122 down to 117, so $5 move into the close. If somebody knows something, somebody always knows something, right? Okay, I'm going to skip that one. DoorDash, I want to get to because they had a decent quarter, but they have the too much spending and yeah, they have other issues besides just their earnings. Their earnings and sales are fine. It's just the spending and yeah, it's too much detail to get into in tonight's video. HubSpot in a downtrend. What's in a downtrend is going to stay in a downtrend. 12% haircut tomorrow. Duolingo, another haircut tomorrow. This is the ugly stuff here. We got the good, the bad, the ugly. IONQ losing money, hand over fist. Nobody cares, up 5% after hours. Looking at a 22 billion market cap, tacking on another 5% tomorrow. Let's just give it, I don't know, 30 billion market cap for losing money. They won't be profitable for years and years. So that's kind of where the froth is in the market. Silly time. Speaking of silly time, SITM C time back to the 50, reported now up 13% after hours. So we'll look for that one tomorrow. And EOSE, decent report, down 2% after hours. That's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up.